News 46 is brought to you in part by...
Are you a 3 everyday mom? A significant number of children and adolescents fall short of the calcium they need. Researchers suggest consuming just 3 servings every day of milk, cheese, or yogurt to help reduce body weight and body fat. Milk contributes the most calcium and protein per 100 calories and per penny, making milk a nutrient-rich and cost-effective component for meals. Don't compromise your family's calcium intake, decrease their risk of fracture, and build lifelong healthy habits. Become a 3 everyday mom today. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
I'm with Christopher Frasher, who is the son of Michael Frasher, unfortunately the victim of a stabbing on May 1st. Hi, Christopher. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Nashville, Tennessee.
So tell me about your relationship with your dad.
Me and my father were real close all the whole time I was growing up. We stayed in contact, talked on the phone at least a couple times a week all the way up until he died. He's been out here to stay with me and visit. I've been out there to visit him over this last few years, so we've been real close.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
And your dad was 56?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about how long has your dad been living here in Pahrump?
He's been out there since 1989. He brought all of us, me, my brother and sister, him and his wife, all moved out there from Vegas to get away from just the crime area we were in. He wanted to get a real good plot of land and just make a good household for us, and that's exactly what he did. They got an acre, and he dug holes all around the entire property and planted cottonwoods in them with a elaborate drip system, and then continued to build on the modest double wide we had. It was it started out as a double wide trailer, and he turned it into a home, basically. Built a deck onto it on the side, and then a huge front porch. They built a dome on the side for his workshop. We had a pond in the backyard, a fire pit, tree house. Just made a real nice home for us all.
What did your dad do for a living?
He was a fix-it guy in the town. He fixed anything with a circuit board, pretty much. And he was a fair man. He did everything right the first time. Anybody knew that they could bring him anything that was broken, and he'd fix it the first time, and not charge an arm and a leg. So he had a reputation for that, and did very well in his business.
How many children did your father have?
I'm his biological son and his only. However, my brother and sister, we all grew up together since before we even have memory. So they are my brother and sister, and they are his kids. And
your mom?
Hallie. She's Juanita. That was his wife. That's the mother of Hunter and Hallie. She was my mom as well. We sat down for dinner every night. There was no phone or television. We talked about how our day was and how things were going, and Juanita cooked for us every night, and we sat down as a family and ate.
Tell me, where's Juanita now?
She's in Indiana. My brother's also out there. My sister lives in Telluride, Colorado now, and I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
And your dad decided to stay here in Pahrump?
Yeah, he had a lot of, like I said, he was a good businessman out there. For a while, he had a business called Gamebird Electronics. It was on Highway 160 for a while. It was also on Stagecoach previous to that, or after that. And he's just made a lot of contacts in that town as a musician and as a fix-it guy, and was able to do business in that regard quite well for himself.
So, speaking of musician, we heard a recording of your father yesterday that Barbara Bell claimed was hers and your father, and you want to correct that.
Yeah, that's actually been quite damaging to my family. He wrote that song for a woman that incidentally happened to work at that station there. I think her name was Terry. She did a morning show. Mm-hmm. Him and her had a band, I guess, that I remember them recording all kinds of different things, and he wrote that for her son. the eyes of a child. And Barbara Bell had nothing to do with anything of Mike, other than my dad was best friend with her husband. And I remember him telling me that, you know, basically, like, look, I just have to deal with her in order to, you know, go hang out with my buddy and pacify her, basically. So being a good man that he was, and having the heart that he had, you know, he humored her, basically. And, you know, he'd play piano for her while she sang, and it was a big pain in his ass, but he did it just so he could hang out with his buddy. And also he got, you know, around their kids and stuff, and he was just great with everybody's kids. And so he felt bad for her kids and wound up having to take her daughter to school and stuff like that. She wouldn't wake up and do it. So
we asked Barbara Bell about that this morning, and she admitted that she doesn't have a relationship with Michael. She said she used the term boyfriend, not meaning that they had a romantic or sexual relationship, but as the way that she says, that's my girlfriend, that's my boyfriend. And then she still claimed that her daughter had a relationship with your father.
Well, my dad did tell me about the relationship with Antoinette. I understand that. As far as the Barbara Bell thing, I just, however she said that, it definitely came across wrong, and my family's just sick to death about it. When I saw the interview with her and her saying that, that's the way it came across to me, is that she was trying to claim a relationship with him, and my stomach just turned over.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit more about how you found out about this tragic incident with your father.
I was in the hospital for surgery, getting a tumor cut out from behind my eye. My wife is also in the hospital at the same time, same hospital, having our first child. And the morning that we had our child, I went in for surgery that same morning, right after my little girl was born. And then my family came out, and Juanita, my stepmom that I had told you about, she came out and drove from Indiana, and they all sat down and said, look, we got something we need to tell you. And it was a week afterwards, because they didn't want me stressing out and not wanting to go through with the surgery, and you know, and just letting me have a good time, letting my daughter be born, and, you know, and not tainting that. So after my daughter was born and I came out of surgery okay, that's when they told me. And I have still not been able to really grieve since, because I haven't been able to get a hold of his music. And he was a musician first, and that's been real hard for me to know that there's people out there that have his music and stuff, and that's contained on CDs and tapes, laptops that are God knows where. But I just really want his music back for my own grieving purposes, and for to distribute to my family.
So if anybody's hearing this and they have any of your dad's music, they can contact the station here, and we will forward it to you. His music was performed at different locations, and that's where they recorded it, or is there any professional recordings?
He's got studio recordings of his. He also performed all over. I mean, every venue in that town, I believe, at some point, with different bands. Like I said, there was a woman that worked there. I think her name's Terry. Mm-hmm. Her and my father recorded a lot of things and wrote songs together. And she should have some of his stuff, and I would sure like to get a hold of her. But yeah, there's just many musicians all across town that should have some of his things, or some of his music. And unfortunately, because of the circumstances where he was living and the people that he was around, who knows how these vultures have descended on his tapes, CDs, and whatever, and where they're at now, and who else is going to claim that they wrote his songs and whatnot.
Exactly.
It makes, you know, so.
Well, we'll definitely put the word out there for that. I know that your sister sent us some pictures of the whole entire extended family, and you guys have quite a family.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're all real close. We grew up with real good values and whatnot. We're all like I said, real close family that got a lot of love. He was an anchor for everybody, I think, him and my grandfather. He took his time to make sure that all of his family knew that they were loved. He did an excellent job raising me and my brother and sister, and we have nothing but love and respect for the man. We're all missing him quite a bit. And
Do you know why this happened? Have you heard anything?
I could speculate, but I'd rather not. We'll just see what comes out in the trial and everything. These clowns that did this. I know that my family wants blood. All of us are feeling quite vengeful right now. None more than me.
Are you going to be out here for the trial?
No, I'm not going to be out there for the trial, and if I do come out there, I'm certainly not going to tell anybody when I'm coming out.
So, tell me about Michael's burial.
He's going to be buried in Prescott, Arizona. That's where his mother and father and a lot of his family live. It's going to be May 27th at 1 p.m. If anybody's interested, I've posted a link on the Plum Valley Times website, and they can get directions and whatnot. There's a thing that my grandpa made up, directions and all that to the service and how to find it and whatnot. So that's on the Front Valley Times website of Facebook.
Thank you so much, Christopher, for speaking with us, and thanks for talking about your dad and setting things straight as far as what's going on with Barbara Bell.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time and allowing me to say something about that. It's caused a lot of anguish among me and my family, what she said.
And we're going to talk to Hallie as well.
That'd be great. She's got a lot of good things to say, too.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
It's just our family. Once I saw that interview, I mean, it was just very disturbing to us, just watching her come out and say that she had a relationship with Mike that was more than just a friendship. Also saying, that music was written by her and sang by her, which is, not true. And, I don't like to trash people or talk bad, but, there was a lot more to Mike than, what has been being said by these people, and more than just, these type of people. He was a very wonderful man, and he may have had some faults and been involved with some people that he shouldn't have been involved with. However, he was just a wonderful man. He was a wonderful dad. He was a family man. Growing up, we were the type of family, that we took family vacations. We had dinner every night together at the dinner table. He taught us right from wrong. He was a good dad and a good person, and I just want people to know that.
Tell me about what age were you when Mike came into your life?
I was around 2 years old.
Wow, so he really did raise you.
Yeah, he did. He did. Me and my brothers, and, Chris is not my biological brother, but I've, grew up with him as my brother. I was always raised with him as my brother, so I've never thought anything different. Even after my mom and Mike had divorced several years ago, as far as our family went, nothing changed. Chris was still my brother. Mike was still my dad. My mom and Mike still had a good friendship. We were still a family.
Did you speak to Mike often?
Not in the last couple months. I haven't spoken with him very often. However, we did keep in touch quite a bit through email and online and stuff.
Tell me about when you found out about this horrible murder.
When I found out, it was absolutely devastating to me. But it's really hard to accept and believe that something like this can happen to someone in your own family, someone that you love. Like, you always hear about stuff like this happening, but not to, your own family, yourself. It's like a piece of me just died right along with him.
Especially when the person that you're describing is such a caring person.
Such a wonderful, caring person. He was brought up to be that way. He has a very large and loving family that he was extremely close with, all of his family. He's, one of 7 children. And so he has many brothers. He has one brother and, several sisters. And he's just from a very large, loving family that taught him to teach us to love.
I know that you sent us some pictures of your family. You have a very large extended family. How are they doing?
You know, everybody's holding up as best as they can. It's been extremely hard on everybody. Like I said, we're a really close family. He was very close with his family. So, I mean, everybody's dealing with it the best that they can, but it's like a piece of everybody has been taken away.
So, is there anything else that you would like to add as well?
I would like to add that I'm very grateful for, what the Sheriff's Department is doing, and Detective Barakowicz, and, all the help that they're doing fighting for justice for Mike, because I really hope that justice does prevail and that the people who did this to him are held accountable, whether they were the ones who actually had the knife or in the car, because in my mind they were all in it together. It was a teamwork.
Are you staying in contact with the Sheriff's Office on a regular basis?
Absolutely, I am, and they've been very, very nice and cooperative with us as a family, and they are working their hardest and doing everything that they can do to bring justice for us and for Mike.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing Mike's life with us and telling us all about him, and the pictures as well.
No problem. Thank you, and thank you for doing this story.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
News 46 is brought to you in part by
Join the Pahrump Nugget in May for fun, drawings, and giveaways. Let's start with winning an ATV, being given away every Saturday night, or a utility vehicle. Drawing held Monday, May 30th. How's $150 in free slot play sound? 9 winners weekly for Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
Well, we're a national public policy company that does strategic assessments on projects around the country and the world for economic development, what we call catalyst projects, projects that cause things to happen.
And CEI is involved in this. What is CEI?
Concert Entertainment Incorporated is out of Los Angeles, and there are strategic partners in these kind of projects where it involves putting together the thematic side of something. They're former Disney Imagineers. As a matter of fact, the president's a former head Imagineer for Disney. All Disney folks out of the Disney house. So very creative guys and gals.
And you're going to be speaking at the town board meeting tonight. Tell me some of the projects that Contour Entertainment is working on right now.
Well, we have projects all over the world, in Australia, in China, in India. Here in North America, of course, we have a major, huge project in Houston, Texas, which is one of the largest theme parks. It's a green theme park, the largest in the world, and projects in Europe. So we've probably 5 or 6 big projects going on around the world right now.
You're looking to do a project here in Pahrump. Why Pahrump?
Well, Las Vegas is the number one, still the number one destination place in the United States, with 40+ million people flying in and probably another 10 or 15 million coming in here by car. And that market, has been largely left pent up for family opportunities to do something besides just gambling. And so we think being this close to that market is a great opportunity to create an additional attraction to get people out here and have them spend some money on some other things.
Where are you looking to open up in Pahrump?
Don't know yet. That's something we're going to investigate and find the best location, because what we want is the best location that'll make the enterprise the most successful.
And we're going to be doing a study?
Yes, we do. What we'll do is we don't do studies unless we're interested in doing a project. We only do, as I always say, I will only do a study in support of what I think a real project should happen. Mm-hmm. So we don't do studies just to do studies. We're very much performance-based, and we only want to do something in support of building something.
This would be a question for Al. We paid for a study to be done?
Do we pay for the study?
Did we pay for a study to be done, or are we looking to pay for a study?
Well, we're looking to pay for a study to be done, but we're reimbursed when the project becomes a reality. The study, we would go ahead, and that's our partnership, the public-private partnership into that, and then once the project is developed out, the town is reimbursed for that in the form of intellectual property rights.
How likely will the study lead to an actual project?
As Don just said, probably 100%. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming here. They don't do studies. They do his projects.
And what's the cost to the community?
Well, over the long term, I think this first phase is $150,000. I think, correct, for the initial concept. And what we'll end up doing is, as Al said, what we require is that when the project goes underway, that the community gets reimbursed for all of its hard costs it has invested in developing what we call the intellectual property rights.
And is this approach unique, and why?
I would tell you that I think it's very unique. We use this all over the world, though, and it's something that we've really been the innovators of. And we think it's something that leads to very successful projects, because you always get the right project in the right market because we fit it to the market. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it's something that investors want to invest in.
How many employees are we looking at, or we're not even at that phase right
No
now?
idea yet. I don't know the scale or scope yet. So.
How can people find out more about it?
Well, they could go ahead and tune into the town board meeting tonight, and better yet, to even come and listen, and then go ahead and voice their opinion. We'll also be having some information on the advertisement that's going to run here with a phone number and my email address, where you could email me or give me a call, and if you have questions, we'll go ahead and then put it to the town board.